So, I have a story to tell you today. Today, the story is about my brother. And my brother, Mike, is 2 years older than I am. And most of the time, I really liked him. I looked up to him. But sometimes, it's kind of a pain. And he would probably be embarrassed I told you the story, but too bad. That's what little sisters do. Actually, you shouldn't do that. But I'm going to tell you a story because I have a really good point for you. So, my brother and I, when we were younger, we would help my mom go to the grocery store about every 2 weeks or so. We didn't have a lot of money, so we had to really prepare and budget. My mom took her calculator and everything, so we would go to the grocery store. And for helping her bend over and grab things and carry things so she didn't have to do that, she would take us to the Murphy's Five and Dime. Now, the Murphy's Five and Dime was where you could buy special things, collectible things, normal stuff, sometimes even a few groceries for a cheaper amount. And we would go there, and she would always buy us a candy bar. Now, we wouldn't get two candy bars, we'd get one candy bar. So we took turns picking, but most of the time we ended up picking a Snicker bar. So I drew a Snicker bar here. So my brother was 2 years older, like I said, and my mom gave him the knife. I'm not sure I always liked that, but actually, I can tell you I didn't. But part of the time, he got to cut. And so, as the older boy, he got to cut first. So, he would take his knife and he would cut the Snicker bar. Now, I hope you're thinking what I'm thinking. Because at this point, when my brother cut the Snicker bar, I'm thinking, my mom better make him redo it. Well, she didn't. And she said, Mike, you can pick the piece you want first. That's not nice. So, of course, we all know he took that piece, and I got that piece. Not quite fair. So then the next week we went, or the next couple weeks, so later that month, we went to the Murphy's Five and Dime again, and it was my turn to pick. I picked a candy bar called a whatchamacallit. You may have seen it. I don't know if you have or not, but I really enjoyed it. So I got a whatchamacallit. We got home, my brother got the knife, and really? He did it again. He got that piece and I got this piece because mom let him pick first. Well, as you know, I would be getting very frustrated, as you would be, I'm sure, at this point. So finally, I said, we got to the Five and Dime. The next time, my brother picked out, this time he had picked out a Snickers again, and he said, we got home, he got the knife. Mom said, hey, Mike, let's let Jenny cut it this time, because I had been begging her, please let me pick it. Please let me pick first. Let me cut it. All that kind of stuff. So I got to cut it. So, of course, I did my very best. And we got equal parts. Yay! So I got an equal piece of the Snicker bar this time. So the next time, my brother gets to cut it again. And I think, oh boy, hopefully he learned his lesson, right? He learned his lesson. He's older, he's smarter, he should know this stuff. And, of course, we were back to this. But I finally looked at my mom before she said Mike could pick the piece. And I said, please, can I pick the piece first? If he got to cut it, then I should get to pick first. The next time when I cut it, he can pick first. That way it'll be equal. My mom says, sure, no problem, Jenny. So my brother cuts it. He reaches down to grab his piece of the Snicker bar, and I'm like, hold it. Mom said, I got to pick the piece first. My brother started to get all upset, and Mom goes, no, Mike, it's only fair. So, of course, being the nice sister that I am, I totally gave him the small piece and I took the big piece. So we continued on this way every so often, but the rules changed. Every time Mike cut it, I got to pick first. Every time I cut it, Mike got to pick first. So as you can tell, and as you probably know from my story, I helped fix that problem. It became fair pieces because even though my brother was older, he was probably a little smarter and wiser than I was, and therefore he helped himself to more of the candy bars. Now, I hope you enjoyed my fraction story. You can see why it's always important to have equal pieces. Do you have a brother like I did? I hope not. But if you do, now you know a way to fix it. And it can work with cakes and pies and pizza and everything, even a hot dog. Okay? So, I I hope you enjoyed my story, and I hope you understand why fractions are important to the equal